What Would Yeshe Do? A podcast dedicated to Yeshe Tsogyal, the mother of Tibetan Buddhism. Today, I had the honor of sitting down with Tibetan Buddhist monk Tashi Sangpo at the International Buddhist Academy here in Kathmandu, Nepal. Tashi is from the Sakya Monestary in Ghoom, Darjeeling, India. Today we talked about Tibetan Buddhism, meditation, the use of Thanka paintings in meditation, Atisha mind training, and of course, Yeshe Tsogyal, the mother of Tibetan Buddhism. And so, without further ado, let's get to that interview, shall we? Welcome to the What Would Yeshe Do podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Your name is Tashi.
Yeah, my name is Tashi Sangpo. I was born in Darjeeling. Mm-hmm. So it's a small, it's a eastern part of India. Mm-hmm. So it's a hilly area.
That's where the Dalai Lama is near?
Oh, no. Dalai Lama is in Dharamsala.
Okay.
Dharamsala. He exiled from Tibet to
right.
Dharamsala. Yeah.
What is I always like to know, what does your name mean?
Tashi Sangpo. Tashi, it means prosperity. Sangpo, it means well-hearted.
So did you know at a young age that you wanted to be a monk?
I became a monk when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
So now I'm 36.
Okay.
Yeah,
You've been doing it for a while.
Yeah. Now it's been almost 24 years.
Wow.
More than 24 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here at IBA?
No. I became a monk in Darjeeling. Mm-hmm. There is a monastery called Ghoom Sakya Guru Monastery. There is a name of Guru Rinpoche, Guru, in the middle, because in our monastery the main statue is Guru Rinpoche's statue. So that's why Ghoom is a place name. Ghoom, Sakya, we are Sakya, Guru Monastery.
Sakya, we are?
Sakya, it means, so we have 4 sects in Buddhism, right? Mm-hmm. We have 4 sects in Buddhism. Sakya, Gelug, Nyingma, Kaikyu. Mm-hmm. So I'm the Sakya sect.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What is the difference between that and the other sects?
I think so. We don't have that much differences, but when the Buddhism is flourishing in Tibet, so at that time the main purpose goal are the same, but the approaches, the way to handle, the way to get, what do you call that? Liberation,
mukti,
enlightenment. The process is a little bit different, but the main goal is same. That much, not much that differences. So in Buddhism we call it like method and the what do you call the view. There are 2 parts. The view are the same, but the method is a little bit different. So, for example, if you go to, those monasteries like Sakya Monastery, Gelug Monastery, they have like a ritual parts is quite different. Ritual parts are quite different. So those things are, what do you call that? Not the main part is different, but the, what do you call that?
Kind of the outward appearance.
Appearance is quite, different.
So which one is the Dalai Lama?
The Lama is a Gelugpa sect.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was the king of Tibet. So we don't consider him as a, Gelugpa or Gelugpa Lamas, but we consider him as a, all Buddhist master.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to meet him when I'm in India.
Oh yeah, sure.
If I can get an interview. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe you can try.
Yeah.
Maybe you can try. Yeah.
So when you were 12 years old, you became a monk. What are the daily practices?
So daily practice is, so we have to learn Tibetan language first. Then after we have to memorize all the Tibetan like ritual books, and we spend some time in Hindi languages, other languages like Nepali languages. So that's it. So when I joined monastery, so at that time we didn't have English languages. We didn't have English language, just Hindi sometimes and Nepali. Yeah. The mostly we spend our time in ritual parts to memorizing those things.
Do you do the deep voice?
Like deep voice, and just memorize what is in the text. Maybe after dinner, so maybe around like 6 o'clock. So we have to approach to our teacher, and he asked you what you learned today. Yeah. So we have to learn every day. Yeah, we have to learn every day, and we have to give him the test without looking at your textbook. Yeah.
So the what you recite, is that the Vajrayana Sutra?
Yeah, Vajrayana Sutras. So most of them are Vajrayana Sutras. Yeah. So when we grow older in monastery, so at the time the texts keep changing. So there were like 6 months course and like 1 year course. 6 months, so we have to finish one text. Then after we jump into another level. So through this, in my case, it took me like 8 years to finish my monastery education. So it includes like ritual parts. It includes like Tibetan grammar and Hindi and Nepali language. Yeah, those areas are very important. In those areas, we learn in monastery life. Yeah.
Other than the Vajrayana Sutras, what else is there?
There is Vajrayana, and there is also Sutra parts. Yeah, Vajra parts. So most of them are we learned in monastery Vajrayana part. Yeah, just how to perform the symbol, how to perform the fluent. So how do you lead the pujas, and those things we learned in monastery.
The pujas.
Yeah, pujas. So pujas is actually there are many different kind of pujas. So basically it means sometimes it purify your negative emotion. Sometimes we perform those puja to generate your own good karmas, and to perform especially for those who are in trouble. So there are some specific specific pujas, and maybe you know that Tara Puja. Do you know Tara? We call Om Tare Tutare Ture Soa. So in text it calls like Tsogyal Doma Nyurma Pamo. So it's a grain Tara Pujas. So it means we Tsogyal it means we venerate. Dolma it means her name. So it's the deities called God. Tara Nyurma Pamo. Nyurma it means very quick. Pamo it means so in general, if you do puja for her, if you venerate to Tara Doma, then your every wish, your every dream comes true very quickly. So that's kind of what you call that belief,
Yeah.
Very flourishing Tibetan community. So this puja is very famous. So this is called like Tara Puja. So this is one example. So this so our main focus is in this puja is main focus is your wish will come true. Your maybe you can do something better in your future. So that one maybe that will happen in your life as soon as possible. So that's why we perform this puja. So this is a particular one reason, and there is also another pujas. So like in Sakya we have Kangso puja. Kangso we call it in Tibetan Kangso. It's a Mahakala puja. So it's like a dharma protector. So we perform every 29th according to the Tibetan calendar. Every month, once in every month, we perform on the 29th according to the Tibetan calendar. So we, especially to protect the Buddha Dharma wherever it flourishes, and well-being for others, and these are the reasons why we perform the pujas.
That reminds me of Pema Sambhava. The Dharma protectors, they used to be Bun. But he came in with Dorja and turned them into Dharma protectors. So that's interesting. How many Dharma protectors are there?
So there are every sect has their own Dharma protector. We call it like Chokyong. Chokyong. Cho it means Dharma. Kyong it means protector. Chokyong. So in Sakya we have Mahakala.
Interesting. Interesting.
Look. And maybe have you been to New Road?
No.
There is one place. There is one temple there. Mahakala temple there. So not only the Buddhism, but also Nepali people. I think Hindu people also go there and venerate this statue. It's a Mahakala statue, black Mahakala statue.
So I assume that when Green Tara grants wishes, they've got to be good wishes.
Good wishes.
Not bad wishes. Not bad wishes. I want to control that person, Tara. Good karma from the heart, from a good place.
So that's why, in Buddhism, so whether it is Vajrayana or Sutrayana, so first thing is intention is very important, So first we have to think, what you are doing in your life. If you are doing something good for others, then the motivation and intention is very important. So let's say if I give them, if I give a beggar to like $1,000 or whatever it is, but my intention is to make you like fame, or if somebody watches me to give, just give like show
take
off.
A picture.
Take pictures.
Me giving the money.
Giving that one is not. Although the physical side, it's, I think it's what you call that. It's good. Let's say it's good, but the intention is not so good. So overall, your karma is not so good.
Right.
Yeah.
That's tricky.
That's very tricky.
That's kind of insidious. The ego can take disguises. Look, I'm a holy man. Interesting. Do you use in your practice the Thanka painting?
Sure.
To meditate?
To meditate, Yeah, sure. Because we have so every once we finish our monastery life in past, so we have to go to retreat for at least 45 days. So at that time in Sakya we started our retreat from Vajrapani. Do you know the Vajrapani? So Vajrapani specialized to purify your own bad karma, and makes you more energized to practice Buddhism, and not to obstacle in future, not obstacle to continue your study on Buddhism.
Interesting.
So this god is called Vajrapani. So we take retreat for 45 days. So this is the first retreat in Sakya sect. We started from retreat from this. Then after we have so many retreats, like 6 month retreats, Vajra Yogini, 6 months retreat. Then after 3 years retreat. So there are so many retreats. So at that time we use the Thanka. So we have to memorize. Either we have to look at those Thankas, like for example Vajrapani, and in the text it says he has like dorje, and he has like sword and fire, eyes is like that, and the posture, everything on the text. Not beard.
Not the beard.
Not beard. Behind his head is a fire. Fire. So when
does he represent the dorje?
Dorje. He has this kind of dorje. His posture is like that. Vajrapani. Posture is like Guru Maches, right? Like Guru Maches. Then after we recite those qualities what he possesses in his body. Then after we look at those Thankas. For us, for ordinary monk, it's very, very helpful to look at the pictures and just meditate and just think. And through this way, do you know the Vipassana, Shamatha and Vipassana?
I know Vipassana meditation.
Vipassana and Shamatha. So in this meditation, we call it in Tibetan Shine and Laktong. So it's especially to this meditation makes you better in concentration. So whenever you think of, or whenever your mind is working, so at the same time so many things are going on, so you lose your concentration in a moment. So Shine, I think Shamatha, it helps you to make you more stay on, not lose your concentration.
Right.
It makes you better. So at that time, so my main point is at that time we need a picture. So whatever it is, either it is your family picture, or your mother, dad and mom, or whoever else, but you just have on the table in front of you, and just you look at that picture and try to hold your mind not to go away from this picture. So this practice is in Shamatha. So slowly we can enhance our concentration, and to control your mind, not to roam, not to roam, or not to go around, wander.
So sometimes the Thanka is used.
So at that time we can use also Thanka. So, and let's say if I'm really devoted towards His Holiness the Dalai Lama, so at that time you can use his picture. If you really love your mom or dad, whoever else, so you can put it that pictures in front of you. So there is no any specific pictures. But we need pictures, but we don't have a specific one. But some guru says, do you know Khenchen Abir Rinpoche, founder of this institute? So he said that at the time maybe you can use blue color, like leaf or blue color things. It makes you more, what do you call that? Calm, and it makes you more concentration. Or he says
blue.
like that. Yeah, it's blue. Yeah.
I remember a story. My father and my mother both passed away. My father was teaching my mother about Tibetan Buddhism, and he had her with the dorje concentrating like this. And while she was looking through a book, and she got to a picture of the Dalai Lama, and she thought, he has a very kind face, and lightning went through into her head and she threw it across the room. She had a very powerful experience with that. I have some friends who paint Thanka, and they were telling me about the different ones. There's the wheel of samsara, and the gods, the demigods, man, animals, hungry ghosts, and those in the hells. And it reminded me of, I forget who said it, but someone said that good karma is a gold chain, bad karma is an iron chain, but they're both chains. So you can be at this part of the wheel of samsara, but you're still on the wheel of samsara, even if you're a god.
Sure.
It's interesting.
Interesting part.
And Avalokiteshvara, am I saying it right? Looking at all six of them, feeling compassion, had a tear.
Tears, comes
that
out.
was Tara.
Yeah, that was Tara.
Makes sense.
I've
heard that Yeshe Tsogyal, the one who I dedicate this podcast to, is a manifestation of Tara. What do you know about Yeshe Tsogyal?
Yeshe Tsogyal, I read one book about Yeshe Tsogyal. I think very interesting one. He performed such a miraculous, what do you call that? So at that time, so there are so many dharmas, let's say enemy,
right.
Who wants to destroy. Destroy. Who wants to destroy the dharma in Buddhism. So at that time, Yeshe Tsogyal, he performed in such a place that all the demons, he doesn't want to harm them, but he tried to subdue them and put it on dorje and bind them and just put it in one cave for maybe 2 or 3 years. So those things I
interesting. Is the cave around here?
I think it's somewhere
in Tibet.
Maybe,
Very interesting.
It's a long. So that much. This book I read in Monestary. So with my teacher. So he told me this story, and we have also one small book about Guru Rinpoche's. So Guru Rinpoche is well known in Tibet. He's very, what do you call that? Great, compassionate master, great Indian and compassionate master, and he done a lot of things, a lot of good things in Tibet. Without him, I think there is no any Vajrayana practice. So that's why he came to Tibet, and
I'll be in Bhutan in February and March.
Oh, wow.
So that's where I guess the Nyingma is more present.
A
lot of so this is where Pema Sambhava and Yeshe Tsogyal, she turned into a tiger and flew and landed, and then they built a temple there. Things like that. So that'll be
there are so many sacred places there. In Bhutan. But I've never been there, so I want to go there and visit there. So how long are you learning Buddhism?
Well, I started when I was very young, when I was 5 years old. My father, before that, I remember I would be outside playing. I was 4 years old, and I'd hear my dad, with the bells, but then there'd be like a lawnmower, and he'd get all upset because it was distracting him. And when I was very young, my word for the lawnmower was kong. And so I decided, I remember this, I decided that since he would say Om, but he'd be distracted by the lawnmower. I'd say Kung, which was the sound of the lawnmower. So if the lawnmower came, then good. That would help my meditation. And I still remember that. I mean, because it's actually like child's wisdom, you know. And so when, you know, in Tibetan practice, there's the horns and the tongs. And so when I'm meditating, if there's noises outside, someone hammering, there's a truck going by, I accept that all as part of the mandala, as part of the experience that I'm having, rather than trying to shut one thing out and focus on another thing. So it helps with concentration for me.
That's the, what do you call it? There is a mind training, Atisha mind training. It is called like transforming your adversity into your practice. It is the same case as this. So it's very important, you know, when you meditate and there's so many noise goes there around you, and so at the time the more important thing is you don't get angry all of it, right? So we have so you know, we have to think this, and those, as you said, you know, those disturbance, you know, you can use it as your instrument, you know. So you can transform those, you know, those disturbance into your practice. I think this is a good idea.
This makes me think of the wheel of samsara: anger, desire, and ignorance. I desire peace and quiet, and if I don't get it, it makes me angry. It's like right there in the middle of the wheel.
So one yogi, you know, he is very devoted person, and he wants to meditate. He wants to meditate in a whole life. So he started from his room, and he thought that, it's very noisy out there, you know, so I can't meditate on this place, so better I go to a mountain. So it took like almost like 1 month to up there to be in mountain. So finally he got there, and he meditated on the mountain, and at night, you know, there are so many birds, and in the morning there are so many birds and animals are roaring. And he feels that, now this is not a good place. I think compared to my room, I think room is better than this mountain.
That's funny.
So the important thing is, you know, what do you call that? Isolated place. We call it isolated place. So there are two different kinds of isolated place. One is like place. Second one is, the best one is isolated your mind, you know. It means, so wherever you are, just accustomed with those, you know, things, and to put it into the practice, you know. So my friend, you know, when we were here, so at the time little noise harm him, but usually he lives in India, so he travels so many times in Indian, you know, train. So you can imagine how much noise it is. So in train he sleeps very well, no disturbance. Even there are so many, you know, so noisy and crowd. So when we talk, and he told me that, right, so here compared to, you know, train, it's nothing. Although, you know, I feel very disturbed here. I think this is not right. So maybe I might feel like, you know, I'm in train when you know, people are, you know, when people are shouting or something happen here.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Do you chant the Lotus Sutra as well, or just the Vajra Yogini, or the Vajrayana?
Vajrayana. Lotus Sutra. We chant. Sometimes, you know, we chant. Sometimes, like our sponsors, so they want us to perform those, you know, pujas. So at the time we at the time we recite or we perform the pujas.
That's interesting. I had a friend back in California, and I don't know which monastery it was, but she stopped going because she felt that there was too much emphasis on the Dharma protectors and not enough on the Dharma. So
Oh yeah.
that kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
defend Buddhism. Well, what is Buddhism?
What is Buddhism? That's true. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. First, we should know what is Buddhism. So, what it's all about. What is the purpose of Buddhism? And there are three different kind of Buddhism. So there are different mentality, and there are different interest. So we call it ourselves Mahayana. So there is also Theravada, there is also Vajrayana. This we call it three. Three sect: Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana. So, but we have to respect, or we have to utilize all those ingredients to become a good Buddhism. Without neglecting one of these is hardly called Buddhism. So we have to accept all those things. And so sometimes the other people interest, maybe they were saying, "Oh, I'm Hinayana, I'm not Mahayana." I think it's not right. I think it's not right. Yeah.
So Hinayana, small vehicle?
A small vehicle. Yeah.
And Mahayana, big
It's a
vehicle.
big
So that
vehicle.
includes everybody.
Yeah.
But Hinayana is just yourself?
Yeah, just yourself. Yeah.
Interesting.
Intended to, So Hinayana just look after yourself, look after your behavior, outside behavior. So they are not willing to do others' welfare. They are not really associated with others' welfare, but they are very very precise in your own business. That's the Hinayana. So, but Mahayana is taking care of all things, looking. So, in the first place, Mahayana always put others first, and yourself is in the second. The first one is others. So no matter what what you do for others, first we have to think not yourself, for others. Yeah. So that's why as I told you, the intention in Mahayana is very, very important. It's also in Hinayana also very important. Yeah.
And Vajrayana is the fast path.
Yeah, fast path.
Lightning.
It's like a fast food. If you have a good system, then you can absorb or you can take it. Otherwise, maybe right after next day, maybe you can get sick.
So it's like the foundation of the house is Hinayana and Mahayana, and then Vajrayana is built upon it. Makes sense. So you don't just jump in, say, when you're selfish and you're not really into it, and you go in and you start chanting and you do mandalas, and this is too much. Yeah. It's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, this some people, they like pujas, especially I've seen that Malaysian people, they like performing pujas, and they're doing fire pujas. They are really doing sadhanas, They are really fond with these pujas, So this is their interest, but they are not really interested in listening Buddha Dharma. Buddha Dharma. So some of them are like foreigners, like Westerners. They really like to hear about Buddhism.
Right.
They don't really interest in performing pujas, and they don't really call that. They are not really interested in this these parts like pujas and these things. So so this is their own ability or own choice,
Yeah.
So, but I told my friend one time, we talked, about those things, and some of them are, criticizing one to another. I think this is not the correct way to do it. Yeah. So maybe doing performing pujas, if they are really interested in those things, maybe slowly, maybe they can come to listen to the Dharma. I think we call it in Tibetan Ghoom, hearing, contemplation and meditation is very important. Without this, there is no any such practice,
Yeah.
So those three are very important. So maybe later on, maybe next year, maybe they will come to listen to teaching.
A step at a time.
It's take time. Yeah.
So the very core for listeners maybe who stumbled upon this podcast because they're interested in maybe the sounds and smells and sights of Tibetan Buddhism, but they don't know about the core of Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths. I don't know them. No. Life is suffering, is samsara. Samsara is dukkha.
Yeah.
And it's created by clinging, by desire and clinging. What are the other three?
And you have to understand the, what do you call that, why you are, why you suffer in this samsara, the main cause. And once you understand the cause, then you have to try to abandon the cause. Then you once you do that, for doing this, you have to walk on the path. Then you can get the liberation. This is the
I read somewhere that the Dharma King had heard that Pema Sambhava was offering enlightenment without letting go of the defilements. That's more Nyingma.
Right? No, I think there are so many methods, So that's why method is very important to. Sometimes, in Vajrayana they were saying like, sometimes it says like, if people show you anger, so you defend with your anger. You defend with your anger, because without showing, without defending, without anger, you cannot tame these people. So that kind of methods.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that kind of methods.
So you don't just take it.
Take it. But in generally, we never say like this.
Right.
Once you show you the anger, just you opposite. You show the love and compassion. This is general Buddhism. But in particular, in Vajrayana, some practice, maybe we can do this. And also Sakya Pandita said, when people try to, when like, for instance, maybe some people, they don't like Buddhism. They try to come to a monastery and they try to burn this monastery. So at that time, Sakya Pandita said, you cannot love or compassion with them. Just don't say, oh, you can burn this monastery. Just protect them, whatever you can do it. So it means if you want to show them anger, so you can show them anger. But the main core is inside your mind, there is no single anger, but just you act as because to tame, the reason is to tame that people. So this is the main.
Like a dog.
Like a dog.
They say, sit.
No,
bad dog.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Tenzin Dawa.
Tenzin Dawa,
I had a good talk with him.
And
I asked him if he would be on the podcast, and he was like, "Oh, I'm shy, but let me give you my friend's number." So did you grow up together?
No.
Oh.
When I was studying here, I think in 2000, I came over here in 2008 in October. Our class started from October, so I think he came over here 2009 because we had summer course for 4 months, especially for the foreigners.
I see.
So yeah. So at that time he came here and studied, I think, Buddhism for a month or for 2 months. So at that time I knew him.
Yeah.
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 So
How cool.
we became a friend at that
Nice.
time. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tenzin, if you're listening, for setting up this interview.
Yeah. So yeah.
So what
Well-
advice would you have for people who are struggling with the world as it is? There's so many. I have friends back home in California, and a lot of them seem to think that if you're not upset and angry at the world the way it is, then you're doing it wrong. That you should be always depressed and angry because of Donald Trump, and because of it's all the suffering in the world and all the injustice. And now they just discovered that there was a slave auction in Libya. What advice do you have for people who think that they should suffer?
So I think
That's compassion.
particularly in this kind of situations, I would like to say, first think about your watch about your anger. Watch about your anger. If anger gives you pleasure, if anger settle your what do you call that, dispute, or like bad emotion, if gives you a good result, then maybe it's worth to
Very
show
interesting.
them anger.
Yeah.
It's worth to what do you call that, whatever there is different kind of emotion, maybe you can show them as your partner show you.
Right.
But if there is no any fruitful, showing them anger makes you more more in trouble, then you should think how to defend those kind of situation. I think showing anger one to another is not a good solution. And see the anger, absorb the anger, and make yourself kind of reserve and watch carefully. And if it is necessary to reply, maybe you can do it. Otherwise, just forget the moment. Just forget those situations once you have this kind of disturbance.
Keep the peace inside.
Keep the peace inside. Just make sure don't this kind of like what do you call that, disputes, this kind of disturbance, this kind of bad emotions. Never make your mind low. Never make your mind unpeace. Yeah, this is what I want to share.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is.
Yeah, I think that when it does happen, when anger and sadness and all of these things do disturb our peace, that's natural. But I think that, I guess as like a compass, a compass direction, I think that some people's compass, they think that they're supposed to feel that way, that because the world is bad, they're supposed to feel bad. And so I guess what I think is to get through it and process through it and be able to, maybe express I'm angry about this, but then find peace again. But people think they can't find peace because they're looking at their phones and the phone keeps telling them what Donald Trump is saying on Twitter. And so put the phone down, stop looking at it, don't look at it first thing in the morning, things like that.
As you said, the samsara is suffering, right? So there is no place, that we can enjoy full of what do you call that? There's no full of 100% enjoyment. There is suffering wherever you go.
Right.
But you have to understand the first thing is you have to understand the situation, like anger. Why he's showing this anger. What is the reason? Once you understand those what do you call that, anger and emotions, then there is the best way to there's a best chance to reduce your anger, because it shows your anger. Your partner is showing you anger, so if you show them anger, then this situation
escalates,
make it worse, going worse. I think there is no any from my point of view, there is no any solution without keeping what do you call that, the practice of compassions, the practice of loving and kindness. If you memorize or if you remember those things, then maybe it makes you more happier. It makes you more calm. That's I think.
Thank you.
I don't know much about these things.
No, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me about this. So what can you tell me about this?
Dorje. Oh, this one you can, what do you call that? Do you know the meaning of Dorje?
Lightning and diamond.
Diamond, right?
Or thunder. Is it thunder or lightning? Both.
Lightning, yeah. So you keep it as a what do you call that? It's a protection or what?
The way I was taught when I was young, we would practice. We would om and then hum 3 times, and then for the root and feeling the spine, and I was very young, so I was practicing it kind of from a state of innocence. The energy moving through the body. I didn't know what sex was, so I'm grateful that I learned about Kundalini and Tantra before, because a lot of people, they hear about it and they go, oh, I want to get into this, but I was, maybe my dad was like that, I don't know, but he taught me when I was young. And so waking up that root energy and then calming the second chakra, the play and the Dantian point, the furnace, and then working with the ego, the separate self, and then love, universal compassion through the ends of the universe, the pink light, that's why I wear pink, and then hum for communication, listening as well as speaking, and then we would so that's how I always used it, was for the third eye to focus here and to awaken and connect with that lightning, and then we would say to the north and to the south, to the east and to the west, to the spirits of light among us and to the spirits below. We send out our reverent love and compassion, and then Om for the all self, the great self. So that's my experience with it. And then I know that at Padmasambhava, my dad would do a warding gesture sometimes. He would, if someone was very angry, he would, and other than that, that's all I really know, other than that Padmasambhava has it, and he threw it and blinded one of the Bon deities and made it into a one-eyed Dharma king, or Dharma protector.
That's really nice,
That's so the extent.
You learned all those things from your dad? Oh yeah, that's... So he's a Nyingma practitioner, right?
I believe so. He died when I was 15, and I'm 39 now. So I had a long journey through life, and then recently decided that I want to bring my focus back to my original practice with my dad. And so coming here, I would tell people I'm drawn to Tibetan Buddhism, and they would say, well, you should start with original Buddhism and then work your way toward that. And I was like, well, I started with Tibetan Buddhism. And so part of that, I translated that as I need to go to the place where the Buddha was born. So I went to Lumbini, and I stood before the marker stone 3 times and offered everything up and said, everything in my life up to this point, I offer to you. Please be born in me and help me find the way. And so that was a week ago. And so here I am.
That's nice. But every practice is not easy. So, of course, Vajrayana practice is not so easy. As I told you, it is like fast food, you know. If you have good, what you call that, system, then you can absorb it. If you don't, then it is not going as you think, you know.
Right.
So I think it is also a good idea to start from, you know, what is Buddhism, you know. Maybe you can spend some time in learning those things, you know. What is Buddhism and what are the view in Buddhism, you know. There are 4 sects, you know. Sakya. As I told you, the goal are same, you know. There's no different. So everybody, you know, every teachers, every sects, you know,
Sect.
Yeah. Sorry, not sect.
The sect.
Sects. Yeah. So talking about the liberation, you know. So, but the method parts are quite different. So those things are also very important to understand, and yes, and step by step, you know, maybe you can learn step by step. Maybe you can practice. Then I'm sure, you know. Then I'm sure your wish and whatever you're looking for in Buddhism, you can get it. Yeah. So we cannot think, you know, results. That always, you know, not only in religion parts, but always good things comes later, you know. The bad things come, you know, as soon as possible. So we have to wait, and we have to watch carefully. We have to practice carefully. Maybe you have to, you know, look after a good teacher, you know, good dharma friends, good teacher. You know. You cannot rely just, you know, just what do you call that, teaching Buddhism. Just you have to. So even, you know, even Buddha himself said that, you know. You cannot rely just Buddha said that, Buddha said this, you know. You have to, you know, you have to observe, you have to, what do you call that, examine carefully. Then after you come to the Buddhist, then practice. Through this, your, you know, faith, your devotion is coming naturally, and it is very, what do you call that, strong. It's not like, it's not weak. So the faith is also very important, and through this, you know, we can sustain our practice years and years. Otherwise, you know, maybe we lose our, you know, this kind of interest in maybe 2 years or 3 years.
Right. Yeah. So far, it's been 34 years, and I'm still interested.
That's very good.
Yeah, when I would practice, you know, another thing, I would learn Kabbalah, for instance, with Jewish mysticism. But in the, you know, of the group of people that were studying the Kabbalah, I was the Buddhist. So they'd ask me, well, what is this for? Like, how do you approach this from a Buddhist perspective? So I was always the authority on Buddhism in the room, you know. But I don't consider myself an authority on Buddhism. And so I taught what I just told you about that my dad taught me. I taught that to someone that's another yoga teacher. And she said, you should teach this. And I said, no, first I need to go to Nepal. I need to go to Nepal. I need to see where the Buddha was born. I need to meet people. I need to get the blessings and
information.
I don't know exactly what, but I know I need to go to Nepal and Tibet and all of that.
Yeah. After this, are you going back?
I'll be going
to home?
after Nepal to Bhutan.
Bhutan,
Then I'll go to India and do yoga training, more yoga training. Because I teach, but I have my 200-hour training. I've taught for 3 years, so I've considered myself beginning. And I want to get deeper training and get maybe more than one school. And then after that, Tibet. And then I have a friend in Western China from America who listens to my podcast. Hi! And he's offered to let me stay with him. And then from there I can get into Tibet. After that, I have no plan. But eventually I want to go to Joshua Tree, that's is what I'm thinking now, in California. And I was originally going to open a yoga studio, but now it's coming into focus and I want to have the Thanka paintings. I want to be able to lead a meditation with the Thanka paintings for people who want that. And my friends that paint the Thanka paintings, I want to help their family by selling their paintings specifically, because they're not doing so well financially, and I'd like for their children to have all the good opportunities, and they're good people. And so Yeshe Studio, as of now, is the producer of the podcast we're recording. What Would Yeshe Do is the name of it. But eventually Yeshe Studio will be a building with yoga, with Chinese medicine, with hopefully lamas and Tibetan monks that can teach and speak, and then maybe open one here in Nepal, and that my friends the Tsogyals can help manage, and then see where it goes. See if it grows, then good. If not, okay. But it's something I want to do for myself. I want to have that environment and make it real, and then if people come, good. But also I know myself, and so I'm going to close every August 1st, travel, and then open with a party on Halloween, October 31st, and then go all the way around the year again and close, because it's very hot in the summer where that is. And so that's my plan.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's really good.
After Tibet, but I don't know exactly how long it's going to be before then. I have two friends in Serbia who want me to visit, so I might be traveling for a while before then. So it's good.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Here?
No, I'm not really sure, because my main monastery, is in Darjeeling. Maybe I'll go back this year. So I've been here for 8 years. Now I'm almost done. So maybe in January 2018, January, maybe I'll go back to my monastery.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
When I'm in India, then I can.
Yeah, sure. So I don't have Indian number now.
Oh, that's
maybe
okay.
Maybe I can.
Yeah,
give you
I'll
my
find the
address.
monastery.
Yeah, maybe you can come to our monastery.
Yeah.
In Darjeeling.
Yeah. And see you
the
there.
The place is called Ghoom. Yeah.
What is it? Ghoom.
Yeah, the place is called Ghoom. So I'll give you my email address.
Okay.
Maybe if you like, then maybe you can come.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being our guest on the What Would Yeshe Do podcast.
Yeah. I'm very happy to share some little knowledge to your podcast, and I feel very fortunate to talk this kind of topics. So maybe I don't think I can help that much, but maybe in future, maybe I can do some more effective. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank you. Do you have any closing thoughts before anything you want to close with?
Yeah. So I would like to say, all the listeners, and this one is, I think, good idea. This, what do you call that? Today's technology is very advanced. So through this, we have to use those technology in a good way.
Yeah.
So this one is very good way, and this broadcast. So you have to, connect, or you have to give your little bit time to listen. Maybe you can learn, not this one, maybe other things, a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tashi, for being my guest on the What Would Yeshe Do podcast today. Special thanks to the singing nuns at Tsogyal, who you are listening to right now. And of course, special thanks to you for listening to this podcast. To the north and to the south, to the east and to the west, to the spirits of light among us, and to the spirits below, we send out our reverent love and compassion. May all beings be happy. May all beings be serene. May all beings be in peace. Namaste.